Once you launch into the game and click play, you'll be thrown into the tutorial. If you want to skip, the button is bottom right. I heard some people having issues with the tutorial though, not working some sort of way. And if you're one of those people, then make sure to go to the description and click the first link to see my video on the full game tutorial. When you're done making your character and load into the actual game, the first thing you do is check your family rarity. Your full name is up here. You go up to this icon and hover over the wipe character. Here you want to look for your last name. So for me, it's Tokage. It's not in the legendary nor the rare, so meaning it's in the commons and it's conveniently the first one. But if yours is in the common, you don't want to look for it. There's way too many last names or families. They have no special perks except the rare and the legendary. So after you're done, you want to click P to see all the icon locations. Since we start off with human race, we want to make our way to this icon, the CCG base. While we're going, if you click M and go to the skill tree, you'll see that your faction will say neutral, meaning that you need to join the CCG. And if you don't, then you have no missions to complete. Therefore, you're not able to level up. So we make our way into the CCG base and talk to this lady at the front and sign up to the CCG by repeatedly clicking the same top dialogue. She explains what CCG is and how to join it. You just keep clicking the top one, and then eventually you join the CCG. So to start your mission, you head upstairs this way. There's stairs right there. But the way I like to do it is clicking E. This will bring out your fists. For me, it's my Quinque. You're gonna jump on this, and then you're gonna jump right here on top of the sleeve. If you did or watched the tutorial, you know that jumping and clicking R will use the air critical. So what you do is walk forward, jump, and then R, like so. And this skips around 6 seconds. So instead of going here and go all the way around to the stairs, climbing up and then getting all the way to where I am right now, you go on top of this tree, jump up, and this saves a total of around 6 seconds. Now, 6 seconds may not be much, and this may be too hard to learn for some, and that's completely fine. That's just how I do it. And because I'm skipping the 6 seconds of going all the way around, I save overall time. Just like I said in my Ghoul guide, this game is not beginner friendly. Though for the CCG, they have it slightly easier because of a mission called Ghoul Eating. When you come to the mission, you'll see NPCs spawn in, and then the ghoul starts eating the human, which makes him an easy target if you position yourself correctly. By that, I mean you make sure the human NPC is closer to the ghoul than you are. If you do it correctly, then you're able to finish off both of them, ending the mission with more XP, and we'll talk about the reputation that you get later. Help your faction is my favorite one, the same as I mentioned in my Ghoul guide. I try to take every single one of them out, whether they're ghoul or human. I just want XP. But in the end, I try to make sure that I grip the ghoul first, so that in the end, I also get XP for completing it. Yes, I'm drooling over the XP. Exterminate some ghouls is killing 3 ghouls. I don't recommend doing this one because it's 3 ghouls and the NPCs are ruthless. You're not gonna have turns with only one. They're all gonna attack you at the same time. So if you parry one, there's a chance that there's a second one coming, and then you're not gonna be able to parry that, and then it's a big mess. Ogiri higher-ups is killing 2 ghouls. This one I kind of recommend, only because instead of 3, it is 2, which should be self-explanatory. Moving on to Strong Aogiri is just killing 1, but it's one of the strongest ghouls just under the Aogiri boss. This one I also kind of recommend. It is 1, which is obviously better, but because it's only 1 and the difficulty of it is hard, it'll parry a lot of your attacks and it'll be hard to fight them. But at least it's a fair 1v1, so you actually have a chance at winning. Now, for Aogiri boss, I suggest to stay away from. The bosses for CCG are much harder for no reason, so even I tend to try and stay away from them personally. Bosses fighting is the exact same quest that ghouls have, but since you're a CCG, now you help the CCG kill the ghoul. If you're unsure which is which, then check which one has a weapon and which has the Kagune, and obviously you kill the one that's with the Kagune. Once it's done, you will get attacked even by the CCG boss, so just avoid him for a few seconds. Then he's gonna go stiff, he's gonna despawn, and then a present will drop, and then you just collect it, just like any other mission. Deliver a box sounds the easiest, and it probably is, but every time I try to do it, I collect the box, go to the first yellow marker, and then it tells me to go somewhere else to a different yellow marker, but then I just don't see where I'm supposed to go. I'm assuming because it just got added, it is unfortunately bugged, so for now I just recommend not doing it until it's fixed. Now there is a quest that you can grind without fighting, and it's not actually on the board. It's right here. You talk to this woman. She suspects that there's a ghoul and you're supposed to stalk him, so you click the first dialogue and then click understand. And here you go. You go to the red marker. But first, if you're like me and you have regular civilian clothes that you bought off of the clothing store, what you do is go through this elevator. You go to the laboratory. Make your way over here to the right. And this is where your Quinques go. You only have 2 storages, but I have 4 because I bought it for Robux. Basically, just click. And then mine unfortunately replaces, so I still have the briefcase. But if you put the briefcase away, you blend in with the ghouls. They do get warned mid-mission that they're being stalked. Their character starts talking, which I'll show you in a second once I get there. But you put your Quinque away, and then you make your way back up to main floor and just leave and go all the way to the ghoul you're supposed to stalk. Or maybe if you don't have the Quinque, then you've already done that step. You blend in with the ghouls. There is a chance you will get attacked by other CCGs, so just make sure to tell them that you're also a CCG, but there's also a chance that they're not going to believe you and still kill you regardless. But how you do this mission is just up to you, but this is how I do it. Unfortunately, I can't because I have a case with me right now. So the way you do this mission is that you're supposed to be watching the ghoul and they're supposed to be on your screen. By that, I mean your character is supposed to be facing in the exact same way. I usually do this in shift lock. It's much easier. And you can, there you go. Mine's already going up. 6, 8. So I can see them. Like, they're really far. They can't see me, but I can see them, which is really nice. But if there's something in the way, for example, the tree now, I'm not able to get any points. But now if I go around the tree, I can see them. So once this reaches 30, he will start talking. I'm gonna show you. Wait, is he an Anteku? Why was I able to see them? What? So here we go. Let's hope he's not too good at the game. And I think this is the guy I'm looking at. So there you go. It reaches 30. He says, why does it feel like I'm being followed? So now he knows it's me because I have the briefcase. He has... It's okay. So every 30 it reaches, he starts talking. So his character is informing him that he's being followed by a CCG, which is obviously me. So here you go. It reaches 60. He speaks again. There we go. So if I look away, the progress is not going to go up. If I look, it's going to go up. But if I look away and then use my screen to look at him, it's not gonna, the progress is not gonna go up. So what you do is just simply look at him for 60 seconds because it's going up by 2. I need 120, so just half of that and 60. When you do reach 120, he will see you. So staying far away when it reaches high, like 110, I'd start running here, but I'd be still looking at him because you don't want him to catch you and kill you, because there is a part 2 to this mission. So what you do now is, as you can see, it says report back to the investigator with the gathered intel. So you click P. I'm going to use the fast travel here. I don't really want to walk across the map. If you do get lost and don't know where the fast travel is, it's right here. So if you go outside the clothing store, you go here, make your way down. And this costs 500 yen. It takes you from this fast travel over to that fast travel, which the number says right there. It's like 2,900 something. Is it meters? I have no idea. Well, either way, you're gonna buy it. Okay, so that's nice. I spawned back. It took me a while, but spawned me back into the base, which is nice. So you talk to her again, and then she rewards you with more XP. You're not supposed to kill the ghoul. You're just supposed to be stalking them. So my friend usually fights the ghoul and kills them, but the only few times I tried to kill them, I failed the quest, and it says your paycheck got cut by 90%. I'll show you on screen if I have the footage, but that's what it says. So I do not kill it, but my friend does kill it, and he doesn't lose anything. So it's up to you how you approach or experiment with this mission. An additional kind of quest would be the bosses or raid bosses, whatever you want to call them. You select by talking to... What is this guy trying to do? To this NPC outside. Once you reach semi-associate first class rank, you'll be able to do bosses for 5,000 K or 5,000 yen, I mean. You do get 10,000 yen for completing it though, so you pay 5, and if you win, you get 10, so you can go again. You can grind this as long as you don't lose. And I usually go for Eto. I think it's the easiest boss to beat, and it takes me around 30 minutes if I'm doing it alone. And I think the rewards are better if you do it on your own, although obviously it takes a while. So it depends. If my friends are on, I'll hop on with them, and if they're not, then I'm doing this solo. I've tried all of the bosses, and Eto is the easiest one to kill, so I suggest or recommend for you to also, if you do buy the boss, the raid boss, I would suggest buying her or buying to go against. Something like that. If you want a video on me going more in depth for these bosses, then let me know in the comments. Or maybe don't. I'm gonna upload about it anyways. Doesn't matter. And to check what rank you are, you click M and then go to the skill tree. Up here says your current rank, and I'm semi-associate first class, so I'm able to go do the bosses. Or if you don't know what rank you are, you can always check the Trello, or you go to the lady at the front desk in the CCG base, and then she tells you what your next rank is. So if you check rank up requirements, to rank up to associate first class, this is my next rank. And if this says semi-associate first class, then you rank up by completing all these, and then you get it, and then you can go to the bosses. So while we're still here, I'm gonna tell you what all these are. Grips basically mean when you kill an NPC or a player, you're gonna click B to finish them off. And once you kill them with B, your percentage goes up, and after a few kills, it's gonna say completed. Events attended, if you click P, oh, mine was already on, oopsies. If you go to these icon events, then your events attended will go up. I'm not sure how many you have to do, but I know that after you do a few, the percentage is going to go up, and obviously it's going to say completed at one point. PD is PD. I'll talk about that later, but you basically just have to survive, as it says. XP is when you complete missions from the mission board, from the woman, or from the boss raid, you get XP. Actually, about the boss raid, I'm not sure if you get XP. I haven't tested that. I haven't fact checked that. And event XP is, I think it also counts for event icons because they also give XP, so I'm pretty sure they do. If not, then it's the events that happen every 30 minutes, and I'll talk about that later as well. So if you started out like instantly, obviously you've been doing a few missions and you start getting cold, your character talks that it's cold and it interrupts your fights or your movement if you're trying to go somewhere. You probably tried but then realized that the clothes in the CCG up here are very expensive and requires a rank to buy. A simple thing I like to do is go all the way to the clothing store and buy regular clothes that ghouls would usually buy. And this action actually tricks some ghouls and CCGs into thinking that you're a ghoul, so you have to be careful not to get jumped by your own CCG teammates. I literally already said that. Well, then again, if the CCG do hit you, say you're a CCG, and if a ghoul starts attacking you, try saying that you're a ghoul. You know, they might just believe it and just let you off, and then you won't die and not lose any XP or whatever. Now, there's a chance that you were too broke to have 50 yen and can't afford any clothes. So just make your way to one of these event icons. Just do one quickly. It's going to take 100 seconds, and then you can make your way to the clothing store and just buy some type of clothes. So because you're with regular clothes, if you don't want to continuously get jumped, you probably won't, but some people will. So this is for those people. If you get jumped often, make sure to try and get a Quinque as soon as you can. I'll talk about it in just a second, but these are my tips for the clothing. Now, for the Quinques, the way you get it is from this woman upstairs, and she's telling you to get a rank 1 investigator. Mine is different because I already have a Quinque. Or I mean, I have the... I don't have it anymore. Where'd it go? But she says you need rank 1 investigator and 2.5k yen. If you follow this way, you will be wasting your money and your time finding a ghoul to get your Quinque. Some people say ghoul NPCs work to get a Quinque, but I never tried it. I just killed ghoul players. An alternative I find much faster and easier because it doesn't require you to get a rank at all. You simply do missions and collect every present that drops, and eventually you'll get a blueprint. You then equip it and use it. It'll say a name and that it has been added, or if this isn't your first time, it will say something along the lines of it is already delivered, meaning that you just got the blueprint of a Quinque you already own in the lab. If you want to check the rarity of your Quinque, you can go to the Ghoul Read Trello. So after you blueprint, you want to make your way back to the CCG base and use the elevator to the laboratory and go to this table this time. So that's the storage for the Quinques, and this is where you make them. Once you interact with the table, you'll see the Quinques that you have. The Kakuja fragment is always going to be here. This is a material to make some of the Quinques. So depending what Quinque you got, the crafting materials will be different. So now you simply remember the names and then try to collect them from the presents, from the missions that drop, from the presents that missions drop. Yeah. If you don't want to grind for the materials, you can still do the regular way of ranking up and buying the case off of the woman, then getting your Quinque off a ghoul, but the chances of getting something rare are not changed compared to my way of doing it. Obviously, this only matters when you start and want to get your first Quinque. The way you do it is up to you, but sooner or later, you're still gonna have to collect blueprints and then come here and see what you got or check the materials or whatnot. For V2, really quickly, is if your has a V2, you can check the trailer of it if it does. I know Scorpion does. So if you equip it, go here and then click Quinques. This is a upgraded version, upgrade 2. So it's called a V2. It only goes to V2. It doesn't go to V3. Nothing goes to V3 as of yet. But here you go. You see Kakuja fragment needed 5 of these, and then you have to make them. And yeah, Scorpion V2 is kind of hard to get. I'm not gonna attempt to do that. I have my legendary over here and I'm happy. A quick warning for the future that will save a lot of people is when you make a Quinque, make sure to put your current one in the storage, because if you craft a Quinque whilst holding your current one, then it'll be lost until you make it again. And after you use a blueprint, you do not have it in the crafting table anymore. I hope that made sense, because if it didn't to some people, then say bye-bye to your Quinque. You're gonna have to learn it the hard way. I may have forgotten to mention how to actually use the briefcase. So when you go upstairs to the woman to waste the 2.5k yen and be rank 1 investigator, she gives you a briefcase. You have to go and down a ghoul, equip the briefcase in your inventory, and then left click on the downed ghoul. And as I said in the video, some people say that you can use an NPC to get your Quinque, but I personally only use them on players, so I'm not 100% sure if that will work. Thank you. Reputation is only needed for 2 things. For a fact, I know it's one of the requirements for the special investigator clothing, which gives you defense. If we make our way in here and then over here, you need 25,000 and you need to be special investigator. And second, it's to be able to unlock the Arata, which is supposed to be the armor that gives you a lot of defense. It's like a Ghoul Kakuja, but for the CCG. I never had it though, so don't take my word on that last one. If anything, I will make a whole different video explaining how to get it if I do figure out how to, if it's not only a dev thing. So RC cells are kind of useless towards the CCG because it has no use to them. I've explained what it is in the Ghoul guide if you really want to know what they are. Ghoul points are rewarded during any type of event or PD. Use them in the shop up here and you click Ghoul point exchange. Here you can see a lot of things that some people might not care about, especially in the CCG, but they're still here. I would also like to mention that as of now, when this video goes public, the Ghoul point cap has been increased from 500 to 1,000. I thought this information might be useful. So events happen every 30 minutes and it's not the in-game one. It's not this time. I have to make sure to emphasize that because some people get confused. If you check your in real life time, you want to mainly look at the minutes. If it says 30, then there's going to be an event. But if it says 00, then it's a 50-50% chance that it's going to be an event or a PD. If you want something specific, for example, a PD, but your server has an event, you can just rejoin and get into a different server until you find a PD. Or if you want an event, but your server is PD, then just rejoin and do the same. Just find an event server. Events and PD both give rewards, and all events are Ghoul versus the CCG, whichever the team wins, or whichever team wins gets the rewards. Even if you lose as the CCG, the loot boxes spawn on the CCG side for some reason. Either way, the loot boxes are not that special, I'd say. They're just the same presents that you get from completing regular missions. A quick important tip is when you do get the pop-up for joining events, I suggest always accepting. Not only do you have a chance at winning rewards, but if you're in combat and decline the event, what it does is it rejoins you in the same server so you don't participate. But because you're in combat, you get combat logged, losing the chance of winning anything at all from the event, but also lose XP and some stuff in the process because combat log. So just like I said in my Ghoul guide, if you've seen it, PD basically means permadeath. And as it said on the warning, meaning if you die during the PD, whether it's to an NPC, a Ghoul, or a CCG, you lose all of your progress. People keep playing during PD for 2 reasons. First is to grip random people to steal all of their XP and RC cells. And second is to benefit from the 3.5x rewards multiplier, is also the reason that the icons give 7 Ghoul points rather than 2. To answer a lot of people's questions, if you log during PD, there is a chance you might wipe. To make sure you don't, click this icon top left and click leave server or return to main menu. If the button is unresponsive after you click it, then that means you are in combat, and if you leave, then you wipe. But if you left after clicking the button, then you're fine. So you can't know how long you're gonna be in combat for, because when it's PD, it shows the little Kaneki icon and how long PD is gonna last. instead of telling you how long you're in combat. So if you can't leave and don't know how long you're going to be in combat for, just wait up to like 45 seconds without getting hit by anything and then try to leave. I didn't go in much detail this video because I did upload a ghoul guide where I already went in depth for a lot of things. So if you have any questions, make sure to watch that video first in case it answers any of your questions before commenting. I know it's a ghoul guide. Still check it. But if that video did not help, then make sure to check the Trello. It'll be the link in the description under the game tutorial video. But that said, if you still have any questions, I'll try my best to answer them. And if they're only hearted, I'm either looking for an answer or do not have one. But that'll be it for this video. Make sure to subscribe. Thanks and take care.